started with the wrong overlay, so it was just us staring at the screen for like 3 seconds.
Awesome. We're live, buddy.
Yep.
Oh man.
Pulled the old Psycho Sid.
Yep. That's a little...
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Oh man,
Woo.
doing great. Well, man, we can't just jump right in. We gotta hear some preamble. So here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a jokering, cowboy poo-pooing, king of the ringing. Yes, queen's crowning. Episode of the Brothers of Discussion. We're talking the return of tournaments. Yes, the return of the Hangman. Yeehaw! And more, time allowing, of course. Man, the song is still playing. Let's kill that baby.
Oh, it is still going.
Yeah, it's still looping all over the place. Amy is
I
here.
think it was
right
almost
done.
we
Gotta finish it. You're waiting for the Adam Cole boom at the end. I got you.
Hey, Amy's here. Pluggo. We got Pluggo here on Facebook. What?
Yeah, my dude.
We never see Pluggo on Facebook. What's going on? Jacoby's here. Always lighting up the Facebook group. This is great. This is all of our buddies. So what's going on, everybody? For anybody who's, listening to the podcast later, find us at BOD Podcast on Twitter. That, of course, we've almost nearly completely given up on because Matt is in the middle of hockey season, and that's all he does now is tweet about hockey, and nobody's watching wrestling.
It's like wrestling on skates. It's a pretty smooth. transition,
What's funny is you and I have better exchanges just over text now about pro wrestling. Like just like more meaningful, I think, between the two of us now that we're just watching it and not tweeting about it, and we can just share thoughts. And unfortunately, we don't share it on Twitter, but probably should do more. But it's tough to watch a hockey game and find something to say about
if
wrestling.
it wasn't for social media, we wouldn't be talking to Jacoby, Pluggo, and Amy. But man, I'm just so disenchanted with the whole process. Sometimes I just want to enjoy the thing, and then it's like I just need the smile reactions. Like when we all just enjoy a moment together. Like Roman Reigns right now. He's with his 2 cousins. He doesn't even have to talk. He's just holding the microphone. That's all Facebook should be. It should just be just an image of Roman Reigns, and you can just kind of smile at it in the background.
He looks so stoic right now. I am so far, Mike. We've been doing these live watch-alongs for. Is this This is the 3rd week or the 4th week? We've been doing it. Thanks. Is it this one or that one? Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The film one. I've enjoyed it. This is our first go around with SmackDown. So for anybody who's not familiar, we're gonna scat some between commercials, little ditties. We'll talk about AEW Dynamite and get into Hangman. And did they wait a little too long for Matt's liking to throw Hangman in there and made it so predictable that
did they do it perfectly for a big mark for AEW?
Yeah,
with me. Yeah, they
who
did.
loved it and who was kind of like, oh, I guess Hangman's gonna come out and win. Just
before we get into that, though, can we talk about the start of the tournaments?
Yeah, of course.
As Roman Reigns puts one of his big meaty hands and rubs the lucky shoulder of Paul Heyman. Wow, what a feeling that must be. Man,
I do feel like we're missing a banger right now. This is the only bummer is that I have everything muted because I'm like, let's focus on the wrestling.
Yeah, we gotta listen to each other.
Right. Wait, Mike, shut up. I'm gonna mute you and I'm gonna listen to Roman. You talk about the tournaments and I'll come back and tell you what happened. I'm kidding, by the way.
It'll be like that Brock and Heyman moment. Come on, Paul, say something stupid. And I'll just go on a monologue for you. But man, you got the bracket up somewhere? You got that visual for us or no?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, the bracket is it's already underway. We already got one match in for the men's side, one for the women's side, and I got to say the outcome pretty ideal. Sami Zayn going against Rey Mysterio, and I wasn't excited about this match. It looked like a foregone conclusion that Booyaka was going to get a Winnica, but he could not survive a Helluva kick. Okay, he didn't really get one in, but he got a matchbook. He got a matchbook pin in on Ray. Man, I couldn't be happier.
Can I do have this screen up now. I think why don't we do this? Because I had in the notes like what I want to happen and what will actually happen. And thankfully what I wanted to happen with Sammy and Ray did actually happen. So I'll pull this up and maybe we can both run through it real quick and everybody throw in the comments what you guys are thinking. But for anybody listening to the podcast and maybe missed SmackDown, this is 4 matches to go through the first round. So this is going to be a quick tournament. Gets you right into what was that, Crown Jewel. But in the first bracket, you've got Ray and Sammy, Cesaro versus Finn Balor, Kofi Kingston versus Jinder Mahal, and Xavier Woods versus Ricochet. Keep in mind, aka King Ricochet. All right, so Mike, let's do it. Oh man, that really blew out my microphone. My headset died.
Oh really? That was just one horsey sound. I'm sorry about that.
All right, so we've got one match in. We'll just throw this out there. I'm not gonna sit here and play the game like, knew this was gonna happen. But I pick Sammy. That's who I want. I'll say it's not who I thought was gonna win. This is just who I think should win. So I pick Sammy and Ray and Sammy, who's went over. And real quick, Between Two Beards is here. So of course Pluggo is one of the hosts of Between Two Beards. You guys absolutely have to check out Between Two Beards. They're doing one of their fun segments is drafting, and this week they're doing the Mighty Ducks. And I gave my input, and then immediately, this is how good Pluggo is at doing these drafts, is that immediately his response was 10 times better what my initial thought was on the Mighty Ducks draft. So, yeah, they know what they're talking about.
Do we mean the movie, like the kids?
Yes.
Are we?
Yes,
okay, so we're taking...
So they're drafting... Yeah, they're drafting...
please
children.
tell me Charlie Conway was not the first pick.
Oh, actually,
I would pick Banksy because he's the only one who was going to get drafted in real life.
I said Banksy, for hockey, and then I picked what's his name from Daredevil to be. I can't remember anybody's name right now. I had to IMDb it, but to be my fighter. And then, God, this is a terrible conversation because I don't remember anybody's name. Yeah, Fulmer. There you go.
Yeah. Fulton, I think.
Oh, Fulton. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we've got some responses already of who should win. So Jacoby's going Finn Balor. Pluggo's got Sammy and Xavier in the final. But was told that Sammy and Xavier, when you say he couldn't go to Saudi, I'm assuming you mean Sammy, right? Because I think that was the case last time. I don't know if they've softened or anything on that. So I'll go through this. I did pick. I wanted Sammy to go in the first round. I'm going Cesaro over Finn Balor so we can get a rematch of Sammy and Cesaro from the NXT days. On the right hand side, Mike, I don't know if I should take all these, but I want Kofi versus
Kofi and Xavier.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want Xavier versus Sammy in the finals.
I wanted to throw you for a loop and mention the King Ricochet thing because this absolutely should be Kofi versus Xavier in that next round. And I guess that would mean that we're going to probably get, who'd you say you wanted for the finals?
Sammy versus Xavier.
Well, so that's what Pluggo was saying. So you're not going to get Sammy. So probably Cesaro. I think we just have to default, even though we want Sammy. We have to default to Cesaro. And yeah, absolutely, Xavier versus Cesaro would be a banger. Not that Kofi and Cesaro wouldn't, but I think Kofi, he won the title, so let's let Xavier shine, right?
I mean, it could just be like Finn Balor versus Jinder Mahal because they like putting Finn Balor on TV and Jinder Mahal. He doesn't really have a lot going on. He can't flip like Ricochet. He's not part of the New Day.
Well, you know what they love doing is teasing us with something as beautiful as Kofi versus Xavier and then giving us the exact opposite. So, I mean...
Jinder versus Ricochet.
That's what's coming up. No.
Yes. Yes.
And there's nothing against Ricochet, but I mean, can I just love Xavier more than Ricochet? Is that allowed? Is that kosher?
Ricochet was just he was a little less cool. Like I wish he would grow out his like receding hairline, and I think I'd like him a lot more.
Jacoby,
I want his little puff that starts like back here, like LeBron in like 2015 before LeBron
right.
got hair plugs. Yeah, that's what I want.
I thought
I want season 1 of The Office Ricochet.
Yeah,
that's what I want. I want Michael Scott before the hair plugs. Yeah.
Michael Scott before. Jacoby's going Balor and Ricochet in the finals, and I think if I scroll up, he wanted Finn to win the whole thing. And Pluggo is clarifying, yes, it is Sammy that's not going. So yeah, we have to default. Sammy gets the I think absolutely had to happen win over Ray, and they're mixing it in with Dominic got in the way, so that's how Sammy got over Ray. But I mean, come on, we're done, right? How many times do I have to have this segment on the show? Like Ray's fine, like it's fine, just.
What's funny?
I'm ready. I'm ready to move on. I know
done. I know that we've muted the show, but before we did that, I think McAfee even said, "Here's Rey Mysterio. He's been in this business for over 73 years or whatever."
Yeah, and that's kind of like I would make that sentiment, but I would use it in a much more snarky, mean way. But I'm right there. Like I'm good. I don't know. His rosters are stacked. Let's move on. Let's let Dominic beat up his head, and we'll go.
What would be the most disappointing finals, man?
Well, I think we kind of just played that game.
I'm gonna say. God, I'm going to say Ricochet versus whoever, because if Xavier Woods isn't in the finals, what are we doing here?
Well, I did tweet out this was one of 7 acceptable outcomes, and it was Sami Zayn wearing the crown, sitting on the throne. So basically, I had one outcome that I wasn't going to be a fan of, because I'm not going to. If I got to watch Jinder Mahal go to Crown Jewel and win the King of the Ring, first of all, it's at Crown Jewel, and I always try to make a point to make sure I'm not invested in that show. So do I even really care what happens at the end of the day?
I do try to double book myself, just in case plans fall through. I have other plans, so I don't have to watch Crown Jewel.
Plus, I think we're both at work, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there really isn't like a bad matchup, and they've already crossed off the one that would have killed this whole thing for me. But if we had to play the game of like kayfabe bad, like the one that really just isn't going to do anything for anybody, it probably does involve Jinder, right? So then you'd also have to go, like at the end of the day, it would be Jinder versus Sammy for playing kayfabe, but we already know, like we talked about with Pluggo, Sammy's not going. I don't know. This is tough to answer. What are you thinking? Where's your head at? How did that question pop in your head?
I think when WWE was in there, during COVID, and they were, having that really rough time, with no audience. And I remember Triple H saying what a tough time it was, to like set up the production and the booking, because you don't really have that, that free test of, what are people rooting for? What do they want? And I feel like the people have been pretty vocal about Xavier Woods, knowing, the guy, he's pumped by a WWE podcast. WWE produces the New Day podcast. Xavier talks about it all the time on his streaming platforms. He wants this tournament. He got into wrestling because of this tournament, and we want to see him in the finals. So I think that if WWE and, Triple H, being, a head honcho for WWE, is going to talk about, we actually listen to the fans. We do have an understanding of what you want to happen. I don't know why you wouldn't have Xavier in there. And I don't know why you wouldn't have Xavier versus Kofi, which would just be an electric match. Xavier versus Jinder, I think, would just be too easy a rooting interest. And I think Xavier versus Kofi would be such a complicated, fun fan experience to see Xavier have to go up against his best buddy. It just feels like it's an easy story that writes itself.
Can I say too? Maybe this is a cold take. I was going to say hot take. I'd do that match, Kofi and Xavier. I give them like 60 minutes. Like, no problem. 60 minutes.
I'm not complaining about that.
Yeah. Like, especially because this is going to be on Raw, right? So, I mean, you got to eat up a whole hour.
Yeah, I would start it at 10. Just push it all the way to 11.
Yeah, no, that's a great.
I would have them do their entrances at 9:55 and then wrestle for 60 minutes.
I want to get your thoughts on this. Jacoby says, good way to turn one of them. Mike?
It seems a little soon because I was thinking we would turn them never.
Oh, yeah, Jacoby, I feel like they've cracked the code with the New Day. I think they could fight all day. I think one of them can be the leader. One of them can go off and do their own thing, and they will forever be the New Day. I think this is the one stable that will remain as stable forever. I don't think they ever need to turn them at this point, because that was the one thing we said Big E couldn't go off on his own until he finally turned on the New Day. And they did it, and they're fine, and it looks great, and it's some of the best. I don't know. I guess so far, it's some of the best championship work we've seen out of Big E with holding any singles title. So
yeah, I don't need this to be Game of Thrones where they're stabbing each other in the back for a King of the Ring tournament. I'd rather it just kind of be like more like the X-Men, and Wolverine and Gambit have their own solo issues, and then they, might fight each other because one's under mind control. But when they go back, they're still going to hang out at the X Mansion with Charles and Big E. So I don't need to see them break up.
That's a great point, because all the drama is the tournament. We don't need somebody to break up, and plus we already have Ray and Dominic getting into a little bit of a tiff, so we don't want to repeat that too many times. Would be my. That's my initial thought. So I brought that up, and I agree with you, Mike. I wouldn't touch Kofi and Xavier or the New Day.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I mean, if we're going to do another analogy, we don't need whipped cream and cream to whip.
So how about, Mike, we go the other way? Pluggo's got one, and we go finger poke of doom.
Like Kofi
just lays down for Xavier. Now, Pluggo, I would take the breakup of the New Day over Kofi laying down for Xavier. I do think I mean, these guys, how long have they been, like, the chemistry that should be there, right? I know they're not always fighting each other. I shouldn't, I don't want to say that, but certainly they've got to have a good idea of what the repertoire is on either side. They've got 60 minutes in them, right?
I gotta say, I'm so excited for that match. I'm arguably more excited about that than the finals, because I can't wait to see the gear that they put together. Like, will it be one of them's wearing cereal, one of them's wearing pancakes? Is one of them going to be the green Power Ranger? One's going to be the white Power Ranger? Is one of them going to be Sub-Zero and the other one's going to be Scorpion? I can't wait to see what kind of dichotomy they put together with their gear for that match. I'm giddy for that.
And they might already have that good to go, right?
Yeah.
Those get-ups. All right. So what's going on right now while we're recording live? Carmella and Liv are going at it. Real quick, Mike, what do you think of Carmella wearing the mask and having it bedazzled? I thought it was a nice touch for the character.
There's I
mean, besides the fact that she also kind of looks like a monster from far away.
Matt, give me 5 seconds here.
Okay. Well, I'll throw this in there. Pluggo, he's back on YouTube.
I got it. I'm back. So it's Antonio Banderas made a movie called The Skin I Live In, and it was a Latin. Yeah. It was like a Latin Frankenstein movie where this guy lost his wife, so he tried to recreate her kind of out of a dude. Definitely check this out. It's an A+ horror movie that I don't think anybody knows about. But that's what the mask reminds me of. So I'm going to give it an A for reminding me of a great movie. But for wrestling, it's a little puzzling. It'll maybe take a little time to grow on me, Matt. But as long as it weighs down Carmella so she doesn't beat Liv again, I'll be happy.
Well, Jacoby's right there with you.
There we go.
Well, he took it a step further, I should say. You said confusing. Jacoby saying it's straight up dumb. It's stupid.
Let it rip, Jacoby. Yeah. I don't get it either, Jacoby. It's puzzling right now. And Liv goes down again. This fan favorite. Matt, I got an analogy for you. You know who she is?
Yeah.
She is the female Ricochet.
Oof.
Woo. Not in terms of physical ability. All right, Ricochet is one of a kind in that regard, but I just mean a babyface where the crowd's like, yeah, we love you. Again? God damn it.
Yeah, just to clarify for everybody.
Another fizzled out push is what I meant.
Yeah, this was Carmella going over Liv in the.
And then, can I just say, now we have the bracket here for the Queen's Crown. It sets up a second round matchup between Zelina and Carmella.
Could be fun, but we also could have had Tony and Liv, which I think would have been great. So I'm a little bummed right now. But I'll say this: I was going to bring that up, but I wonder if they have an updated one. I can pull up now on their Twitter page. Probably not. Right?
For two women, I don't know. They haven't quite had. Oh my God, we're getting a Mace solo promo. You guys need to just. I almost want you to pause Brothers of Discussion to see what Mace has to say, Matt. This is unprecedented waters. Look at this. Uncharted.
Well,
and he says, just say, to compete, that would mean there's competition, and there's no strength competition against Mace. Oh, my God. All he sees is prey back there, Matt. A guy with a tattoo of a giant koi fish on his shoulder does not see any competition in that locker room. He's the big koi in the wrestling pond here on Friday night SmackDown. Isn't that right, Pat? Pat Budo. Pat McAfee just goes, yeah.
Go ahead.
Pat wasn't sure what to say after Michael Cole dropped that. But very excited for Mace's solo career. Much more excited for T-Bar's solo career.
Yeah.
Especially since he's going to be on Mondays with the Bearcat. Can't wait to see how that pans out.
Well, at least, like, he's been teasing the Feast Your Eyes stuff on Twitter, so hopefully a return.
Oh, God, that would
be kind of nice. Yeah. I mean, I know they're like our big deal, like with him coming up, we always kind of made fun of him was, were they really going to say Dijakovic every time that he had to wrestle? No.
I love this Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. It looks like when you play Grand Theft Auto online and you get a little bit of money, it looks like both of their outfits.
Like, just, you want to get something new for your attire, and there's like 6 different options. So
you got to get a loud outfit.
Blue jeans. Exactly. You got to get the loudest thing there. And that's usually the most expensive thing, too. So you just want to show off. But probably the best part about that is when you're playing video games. Before Grand Theft Auto is online, you're just walking around San Andreas by yourself. Walking around like a fan. All right, well, let's pull up the bracket here for the Queen's Crown. Can I just say, huge fan of the name of this tournament? I think it's pretty sweet.
Big fan as well. Yeah.
So we'll kind of go over this a little bit different since we already have a couple of results here. 4 matches again in the first round. Toni Storm loses to Zelina Vega, and Carmella goes over Liv Morgan. So
stunning fashion.
We're sitting right now with Zelina versus Carmella for the semifinals on, we'll just say, the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, we have Doudrop and Natalya going up against each other, and then Dana Brooke and Shayna Baszler. Mike, there are not 2 matches in the 2 of these tournaments that I think have a more sure, like, who should win than those 2 matches. Doudrop better win, and Shayna better win, right? There's no way that you want to play the game of the match that shouldn't happen. You wanted to do that with King of the Ring. The match that should not happen for the sake of telling stories and developing characters. The match that should not happen on this bracket is Natalya versus Dana Brooke. Am I right? If anything, just no Natalya. I can put Dana Brooke can advance because she has certainly not been given a fair shot since she started, but definitely not Natalya, right? Like we're done.
Well, I think this is the way they set this bracket up is kind of interesting, right? Because well, it's the Queen's Crown, and we've already got the Queen of Hearts, and we've got the Queen of Spades, and Shayna Baszler. So I think Michael Cole's already got that queued up for when they fight each other in the next round. It's gonna happen, Matt. I don't see Dana Brooke winning. I maybe Doudrop will win, but not until she gets a real name. And Jacoby, you're stealing my thunder, brother. Because if Shayna doesn't win, it's the same thing with Xavier. What are we doing here?
I thought they were doing a pretty, I don't know if I want to say a pretty good job, but they at least helped Doudrop look pretty good against Charlotte. So I was thinking that they were going to continue that momentum, or else why bother? So that's why I thought Doudrop goes over Natalya, because if she goes down to Natalya, there's got to be a lot of shenanigans involved. And
I don't think that they've quite resolved that Eva Marie storyline. So I think Eva's probably going to cost Doudrop in the first round. They'll get the Queen of Hearts and the Queen of Spades. Yeah.
Unless she gets the win over Natalya, and they're going to save that, and they want to keep Doudrop looking strong, and Shayna's going to go over that way. That's a possibility.
I wouldn't be against that. I loved Piper. I think we all loved Piper.
Right.
And it's just kind of discouraging to see, what she's become. Much like Toni Storm, who I think I mentioned it to you right before she lost to Selena Vega, which I was stunned. I yelled at my girlfriend, who couldn't care less about wrestling. I was like, honey, Selena Vega won. She's like, who's that? Like, God damn it. Come on. She didn't remember even when I said that. But anyway, I was very excited. I was so excited. I had to.
God damn it.
Neither of those things worked. But yeah, now Toni Storm can take up Selena's role at the bottom of the card, which it seems like they're gearing her up for with further losses and more of a fizzle push, just an empty bottle rocket.
I am saying hello to at Neon Ghost 41, because I'm just realizing anybody that's watching on Twitter right now, none of those responses are popping up, so I got to use my phone going forward.
Fantastic. Love it.
So I do, and it's Venus Blue.
Welcome to StreamYard.
Well, they're trying to transition from doing what was it? What's the old Periscope to post to Twitter, and now it's just straight to Twitter. So that's where I think that's where the problems are starting from. But I've been a huge fan of Venus Blue, and we've been sharing Schitt's Creek gifs for, I don't know,
ages.
Probably, I was gonna say years, but it's probably only been like a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah, since BC, before COVID. Yeah, it looks like we got Happy Corbin now. He's settled in. He's looking sharp as always.
Yeah.
Can I say that in addition to looking like the Grand Theft Auto when you get a little bit of money, they also look a little bit like Saint Denis in Red Dead Revolver or Red Dead Redemption 2. I could see these outfits in either Rockstar video game, Matt.
Well, I think that's a little bit of as Happy Corbin has a little bit of Southern twang in his soul, right? So
Yeah.
he's kind of mixing that in there.
Like a bit of molasses on a pile of flapjacks.
I don't know how far this can really go, but as long as these guys are having fun, I'm fine if this lasts forever. And I don't just mean like I'm glad that they're just giggling out there. I mean that if they're actually having fun, then this will be.
Corbin looks like he's having a blast.
Yeah, these will be good segments as long as they're having fun. So I'm gonna pull this away. Here comes Kevin Owens.
Madcap is getting a television appearance check, so he's got to be really happy right now.
You know what? Quick shout out to Madcap. Kevin Owens is like steamrolling down to the ring, and he comes out to stop Kevin Owens, and he's like, "Hold up, man!" Like, what a great response to Kevin Owens, just like like a bull to the ring. And Madcap thought he was just gonna be like, "Oh, hold up there, KO. You're not allowed in this party." And it's nice. It's the details, right? It's a nice little touch to make sure those guys get over. They're selling who their characters are, and here they are, just giggling away as they take down Kevin.
I know,
Owens.
especially with Kevin. He's only got 3 months left under WWE's employ. I I like to think that he chose Happy Corbin to help get him over on his way out the door. So I'm pretty happy about this. Do we want to throw a couple AEW segments in there while we kind of transition from a promo?
Yeah. Wait, well, Kevin Owens getting his
Can we
butt
talk
kicked.
about our parachute of the week, Matt?
Yeah.
Parachute segment of the week, Matt. We could turn to one man for the Spanish God to begin his defense of that TNT championship. We're talking about Mr. Fishbones himself, Matt Bobby Fish,
Woo!
employed once again by a wrestling company.
I get it now.
Yeah. Bob came in, Big Bob Fish, and Matt, it was nice to see. I didn't know what was going to happen to him. I didn't know if he would be like my beloved Eric Rowan and just parachute in and go away. But Bob got a whole TV tease last week. This week he got a full match for a championship. I don't know if he's going to have an elongated contract. I don't know if if
got
Adam Cole even said hi.
Yeah. He's elite, so there's something at least semi-long term.
I mean, I don't know if there's a whole lot to add. I don't think anyone anticipated him winning, but it was just kind of cool to see him make a quick cameo on AEW.
I'll upgrade it from cameo to like next step above that. When you get the Instagram that he switched to be when he's all elite, I think that means cameo has been like it's not just
hot tags.
Oh, fuck.
Cue it up. Yeah, baby. Matt, is Bob Fish gonna hang out with Adam Cole on AEW?
Well, I mean, go back to the Twitter accounts, right? Like, I think eventually, because he was teasing that out. I'm wearing sweatpants, and they're long sweatpants, and it's really hot in my basement right now, so I'm pulling up my pant legs. Should just take my pants off, right? I mean, the camera's.
Yeah, this will be the one time the camera falls off your desk, man.
Man, why are you wearing underwear? I don't. You're taking your pants off.
We see your Steamboat Willie boxers down there.
Well, I'm also wearing a cutoff shirt too, so it goes right underneath the pecs and my tummy and all the hair on my tummy. My tum.
Nick, we're gonna call you Matt Camarado after all that hair, huh? Nice. Get you in a match with Darby Allin.
So where are we going? Yeah, we're talking Bobby Fish. I said he casually drops by. I put that in the notes only because he didn't get the huge like welcome mat, and it was just like, he's gonna be in a match next to like it was. I try not to use casually again and again, but yeah, it was just on the previous episode of Dynamite, or no, it was on Rampage. I think they just threw out, oh yeah, Bobby Fish is gonna be there. So that's just right. I don't know.
That wasn't the only parachute of the week. There's one that for some reason I'm ashamed to admit I didn't see it coming. When we had this casino ladder match and there's a Joker vacancy.
As a parachute?
I'm gonna say it's a parachute. We haven't seen him in a while, but he's just gonna have a longer stay. I think slightly longer than Bobby Fish. He's been gone, man.
I think a parachute implies that they're in the Blackhawk chopper of WWE and jumped. They shot out the back into enemy territory.
Bobby Fish,
right?
All right, we're getting at Hangman Adam Page. So Bobby Fish, he had his parachute. Hangman had his parachute. Hangman landed on solid ground, and he's going to stay around the camp for a while. Bobby Fish landed on a trampoline, and he's going to bounce right out of the camp back into the ocean somewhere.
Whoa!
He cut the strings a little too early, and he just bounced back into the Pacific Ocean.
Bad aim, yeah.
Hopefully we'll get the fish back someday.
I don't even want to talk about the segment. I don't know. He did not parachute in. He was in. If we're gonna do like some sort of military metaphor here,
boots on the moon.
He was getting medical aid. He was already in the military camp. He wasn't jumping into enemy territory and looking for a new job because he disagreed with the current agenda of the government regime. He was he's bought and sold. He's ready to go. He's all about the Tony Khan regime. He's taking that money, he's drinking it away. He's getting his title shots. So he was just getting some medical aid.
If you jump out of an airplane, man, sometimes they'll set up like a bullseye. So I think the Hangman, he landed right in the bullseye. And Bob was coming right for it. And then this big AEW breeze just blew him right into the water. And so now he's out there just like a NASA capsule, just waiting for a Navy ship called Impact to come and rescue him. The USS Impact.
Bobby was flying on the Boeing C-17 Globemaster III that was headed over to Saudi Arabia to drop off all the WWE superstars. And he said, hell no, not again. Whoa! And he jumped out to stay in domestic territory.
He's in domestic waters, Matt? Is that what you're saying?
No, he's Bobby Fish. He wanted to stay in the States, so he jumped out of the plane before it went overseas.
You think the fish jumped out of the plane before it went over the seas?
Bobbert. Bobby did.
Thank you.
All right. Jacoby tried to get us back on track. I think they've been wanting to bring back Adam Page for a while now. So it was last week's episode, right? Like we were trying to fantasy book this, and I said Hangman's gonna come and win, and because I said that, I think it kind of ruined it for me, and that was kind of the conversation I wanted to have, because what are we gonna do? We're gonna talk about Hangman versus Kenny Omega and just say, well, who's gonna win? No, that's boring. That's stupid. Let's wait till the pay-per-view and then we'll have that conversation, because Hangman's gonna win. But before that happens, and I guess that might ruin my point here, is because I'm picking Hangman to win. I guess it feels like they've been waiting to pull the trigger, and it might have just been, to me, like too many instances in a row where the person who's been gone for a while, or they, this was the Joker. What is it in the Casino Battle Royale? What do they call that? The wild card? What's the blackjack card, the 21st person?
They call it the instructions card. You get to come in and set all the rules.
Why is this so complicated again? All right.
I think you're being too critical, Matt.
I
think they would have. I think they would have pulled the trigger a little bit earlier. But I mean, oh shit, CM Punk's coming back, and from not wrestling, and Bryan Danielson, and we're getting Cole, and we're getting Ruby, and I feel like you kind of want to get that stuff, get it in the can, and then after that, now that the dust is kind of settled. We're kind of getting tired of saying CM Punk all the time. He's just on commentary. Now we can, bring back the Hangman and give him that thunderous ovation like we heard on Wednesday, which I was pretty happy for him that he got that.
I guess, yeah. So what I texted you at the time, and I know you're saying I'm being too critical, but I said, are we really going to pretend we didn't see this coming? Like, I mean, it shouldn't be like sitting on your hands and crickets, but I mean,
it couldn't. Who else did you want?
Surprising.
Who else did you want?
I didn't want anybody else. I mean, it would have been. We talked last week, like, it would have been so cool to have Cody Rhodes come out and do it, and that was the other way I fantasy booked it, where he inserts himself.
He's got his own thing going on. And...
But I mean, the answer. There's one answer right there. But I'm just saying, like that would have been a different way to do it. And then
here's another answer. Nick Camarado.
What did you say? Didn't you say, weren't we still talking about Wyndham coming back, or not coming back, but making his way to AEW? Yeah. So there was that. I didn't, neither one of us thought that was actually going to happen, but I just, you get to that point and you fantasy book too much. And
you know what the problem is, Matt?
You book we do too much fantasy booking, and we booked exactly what was going to happen. And then I went, oh, well, this is, I booked it, and
you're putting the Wyndham on a pedestal. You're putting the Wyndham on a pedestal. All right. You need to get out of this city life.
No.
You need to put on some nice cowboy boots a 10-gallon, some Spurs, and do some cowboy shit. All right. This whiskey I poured just for the Hangman's return. It's wonderful.
And
little maker's mark, man.
And I think the whole reason I fantasy booked it last week was because I wanted it so bad, and it hit me in the wrong spot in the gut. Maybe
there's a lot of feelings over there, man.
If they really sold that he wasn't going to win it, like there was a real shot, or
I'm gonna rub two little cowboy shits together for you, like the world's shittiest little violin. Here we go.
Well, how about like when Christian lost to Jungle Boy?
Loved it
at the Casino Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Like, why couldn't we book something like that where that's how Hangman gets the win? I would have been fine with everybody winning that match. So it was just kind of like there wasn't anybody who was going to knock off the ladder. Like, I'm not going to be like, yeah, get Pac off the ladder. That would have been super cool. Like everybody that was up there.
I think Shivani made a couple points too about that feud with Pac and Hangman is, since AEW was even AEW before they really had Dynamite. These are two guys who are fighting each other. So I like that little story. My only poo-poo about that match was the final two where Hangman and Moxley just ate a couple punches, and it was like he had diarrhea and just fell off the ladder. I don't know what happened, but it didn't seem like enough to topple the Mighty Mox, but somehow a couple lefts and a couple rights, and our boy was done.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like maybe if the booking was done a little bit differently, I would have been like I'm sitting
like
here and I expected it to happen, and I got what I expected. We got what we've been asking for like over the entire summer, and then I come away from the match and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's how they do. You know what would have been better? If they didn't have Hangman as like a surprise. Just have him win the fucking thing. Don't play this game.
Hey, you know what, Matt? Sometimes, the vocal minority just needs a spokesperson, and that's where you can come in.
That'll be me.
The rest of us are really excited about Hangman's secret, not so secret return.
No, you guys, you Marks had a great time, and I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you Marks got your moment.
We had a great time. I was screaming along with the Philly crowd there, talking about my cheesesteaks or cheesy cakes. I didn't know what to do. And then my beloved cowboy came riding in on a song that only kind of borrows the soundtrack from, what was that? Ninja fighting movie with Uma Thurman. Why can't I think of the name of that? Kill Bill.
Kill Bill.
Yeah. Ninja fighting movie with Uma Thurman. I should write descriptions for movies. But Matt, you know what movie description I'm excited to write? The one where Hangman is the one to topple that god-awful Kenny Omega.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that real quick? Is Hangman the one to finally take down Kenny?
I think.
Is there another obstacle?
I think that if some people took Kenny down, it would feel like, oh man, we're kind of undoing the hard work we did, like giving Kenny a bunch of titles and making him look like a world beater. But as he's kind of been chipped away, you can see a cattail to my left shoulder.
You look the wrong way.
Yeah. I think if Hangman won, the reason it would work for me is I don't think people would be livid. I think they would be like, yeah, this is a guy we love, and Kenny, we've been conditioned to hate him, as a heel. So I think that it would be a good decision. The only reason I think they wouldn't pull the trigger is if they're waiting for the cracking from the inside of the Elite, and it would be like an Adam Cole or eventually like a Kevin Steen. So I think that would be the other kind of long-term game plan for that belt.
That could be the.
And I know that's part of Jacoby too. I know he's big on Kevin Steen coming over.
That could be part of the catalyst. Like that could be the thing that breaks. What's the saying? The thing that breaks the camel's back. The losing of that title could be where it starts to crumble. I think. That's where I would fantasy book it is, things have to crumble from the top, and then they can kind of reset all of those major players and turn some of them back face kind of thing, and kind of get away from this after by the end of it, it'll probably be over a year that they've been booked together as the Elite. I mean, for a while, but like as like the heel Elite. So I absolutely think that Hangman should be the one to do it, because I don't know if there's another obstacle that makes sense for Kenny unless they threw in, for funsies, a Punk. But watching Punk, I don't know if that comes out to be as great a match as Hangman and Kenny are going to deliver. So I don't even know why you would feel the need to squeeze that in unless you're just looking for more content. Nothing against Punk. I think he's still getting, some of the rust off, which as any normal human being would. That's fine. I think he's a great storyteller in the ring, and he's using what he has right now to be amazing in the ring. But I guess just to get back to having the best of the best fighting for that title, I want to keep it, but maybe a little bit more. God damn it, the word sacred comes to mind, but I fucking hate it. But let's just have Hangman and Kenny maybe be the next big title bout. Let's not try and squeeze anything in there. And we can, how many weeks? We got 4 weeks until Full Gear. I think you can make that happen. Have Full Gear, is it 4 or 5 weeks or something like that? I forget, because they changed the week too, that it's actually going down. And I think our girl Amy got fucked over or something like that with buying tickets or something. Because they switched
actually
the
about 30 days away. That was last year. My bad.
That's fine. But yeah, with all that being said, just
November 13th. Yeah, sorry.
Keep that as the big title bout. Really build up to it. Make it something special. Enough of the Dynamite title matches. Let's build this up. And I don't think you need to do that for every single title bout. But if you do it for this one, you're gonna make that Hangman win that much more special. So yeah, go about it that route. Give Hangman the win, no problem. And I think you sell your own business that way too. So you're not just handing over the title to Bryan Danielson or a Wyndham Rotunda. You're keeping it in house. Even the likes of Pac, who hasn't really quite fully become a member of All Elite Wrestling. If it's because of visas or if it's because he's fighting with other companies, which is totally fine. I just think Hangman, to me, is that guy that is all about AEW. Like, he could be the face of this company. When you're talking about, I guess, Kenny Omega, you got your Cody Rhodes, you got your Young Bucks, but if we're going to be adding to that list, and for a lot of folks who are hardcore All Elite Wrestling fans, they probably have Hangman on there already. But for anybody that's joining who wanted to see CM Punk wrestle again, who wants to follow along with Bryan Danielson's career, I think this is that opportunity to add a name to their list, because we just talked about Hangman hasn't really been around since they've been here. And I'm all about it. You add to the faces of AEW, you reward the guys who have been there, you build a stronger roster. And I think storyline wise, Hangman can continue the fight with Kenny for a little bit. And then from the inside, the Elite will crumble. I think that's a great story. And I
think there's more juice to that too. And it looks like Finn Balor had an outstanding match against Cesaro. It's just whenever I watch a Cesaro match, I'm never as my heart is rarely into it, because I know Cesaro's not going to win anything of consequence.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Sorry, what were we talking about a moment ago? It just really bummed me out.
Oh, sorry. We were talking about Hangman. So I was.
No, you made a point. I was just going to piggyback on just about Hangman. Winning a casino ladder match to win. Like, it feels like AEW, when they're going to do their title changes, they kind of prefer to have a bigger storyline as opposed to like a gimmicky jump to the top. So I think that's another thing kind of going against the Hangman, and that's where it would more likely be something further along in the future that breaks up the Elite, like you said. So.
Well, I guess we can get back into talking SmackDown. Now that the Finn Balor match is wrapped up.
We got to update the bracket a little bit.
Yeah, so everything I've picked so far today has been wrong. I think if I go through my list. Oh no, I did want Sammy to win.
Hold on, you picked Cesaro?
Yeah, I wanted Cesaro over Finn. 100%.
Oh, you wanted your NXT rematch. Yeah, I guess I just didn't see it because it was a match of any kind of consequence. So I just assumed whoever Cesaro was fighting, whether it be Drake Maverick or Marco Stunt, anybody on Earth, and Cesaro would have lost because that's how they like to book him for some reason.
Well, right now they're building up the triple threat match of Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch. Bianca got the best of both ladies today with one of our favorite things in pro wrestling is the feats of strength. And Bianca was going to set up a KOD for both Sasha and Becky. And, Sasha jumps down, but it was still an opportunity for Bianca to show she could lift both those ladies at once. Maybe they're saving that for Crown Jewel. But I think they're doing a pretty good job building here. And it doesn't hurt that you've got Becky and Sasha spitting back and forth, who are two of the best in WWE when they're booked properly character wise. I think they're two of the best. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the direction they're taking with this. Mike, you're laughing.
I'm just thinking about Venus Blue because we were talking about how much we love cackly Seth Rollins, and that guy he's just batting 1,000 right now. He not only did he do a home invasion and make it hilarious last week, he continues to wear the loudest suits this side of MJF, and he looks fantastic. I don't know what this segment is, but just something about the look of his mug just makes me laugh. I can't wait to see what he's got in store for us here.
You like his jib?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I used to have my thread going of Seth Rollins suits, but I've used too many times the zebra cakes one. But today's zebra cakes, right? I mean, the black and white on black and white. I mean, that's the only way to go with this, because it's like a black and white plaid, and then you've got the wavy black and white stripes on the shirt. That is a zebra cake right there. That is 1,000% a zebra cake. So missing the mark here. I really, I mean, to be a little sad here and take the wind out of my own sails. I was so hurt one day when I saw that somebody copied my entire thread and had like thousands of likes and retweets. And it wasn't just the thing of like, oh man, somebody, took my idea. They like copied each one of my posts, like screenshotted it and then shared it as their own thread. They just cut out Brothers of Discussion. And because they had a larger following, they got thousands of likes, and it was like, wow. All right, well, that fucking blows. That really destroyed any like motivation I had to continue to do that. When I found out somebody was just stealing right from underneath our noses. And it's crazy too that Twitter I only saw it because somebody shared it with us.
You've never seemed more like New Japan. Here you were being Kenta, creating the go to sleep, and then this other feed just CM Punk'd right in and stole your finisher, man.
Is that accurate that time?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is, man. I'm gonna start calling you Kenta. I'm getting you a Kenta shirt from Pro Wrestling Tees. I got you.
I thought you were going the NWO route, but either one works.
Yeah.
So as we wrap it up, SmackDown, we did just kind of want to, I think, say. We were going to bid everyone adieu, as Kenny Omega would at the end of SmackDown. You like that? That's never going to end.
Oh, what a pop! Bid you adieu.
So I think I'm kind of going through the notes here of anything else to point out. Mike, we do have the new TBS Championship, which I think will now be my favorite women's title on AEW. I think it's a beaut, and I don't know, I like it better than the TNT Championship already. Maybe it's just the script they use for TBS, but the size of the title.
I don't quite see it, but if you pull back the image a little bit, you can kind of see it. But I think it was Matthew of Botchmania who was saying, "Does it say hose?"
What?
If you pull the image back a little bit, the T, the vertical
TBS
line from the B kind of looks like an H. So it looks like it says hose on it.
Oh my god. Well, I guess I'm just a good person. Didn't see that myself.
I didn't see that either. I'm so used to the TBS. That's the TBS logo. But if you're coming in ice cold, Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to back it up because I don't think you see it up close.
Yeah, I mean, all I saw was just maybe not like he's the last guy I'd ever want to throw under the bus. I love all of Matthew's work, but yeah, I didn't see that at all. I really was just excited because we know how deep this roster's getting, and it was proven to be as such with Hikaru Shida and Deep going at it, and a hell of a banger this week on Dynamite. Like
in a nothing match.
Right. And the way I watch wrestling now is in the morning while I'm making breakfast for my baby girl, I have my phone in front of me. If I'm in front of the stove scrambling eggs, or if I'm just waiting for toaster waffles to pop out of the toaster, I've got wrestling going. That's like the only way I can watch wrestling anymore, which is also why the Twitter account has kind of died.
Can you do me a favor, Matt? Can you do me a favor? Hot tag.
Yeah. Sure.
So they just flashed again how it's going to be Carmella versus Zelina Vega in the next round. I'm going to give you 60 seconds to sell me on why that's a better matchup than Liv Morgan versus Zelina. And I know you're definitely playing devil's advocate here because nobody wants to see the matchup we're getting. We'd all prefer to see Liv.
I'm okay. So I'm selling you on Carmella versus Zelina.
Yeah.
Okay, because I also wanted Tony over Zelina. So this is
nobody's happy.
It's over here. So let's see.
And Zebra
the two
Cakes
women
is cutting a promo, by the way.
The two women I didn't want to win. Here's why you should be excited for this match next week. I mean, it's really tough, but I guess at any point, like Carmella could always be thrown right back into the title picture and be believable. So that also means that at some point you have to give a nod, like with something like the Queen's Crown, to somebody like Carmella, because she needs to have something like that on her resume. And when I say she needs it, it's because it's less maybe of just like a need from a fan perspective, but she certainly deserves it. She's put in the work. So if anybody was going to win this match, so this is me saying Carmella should win and Zelina's going to win now. But that's the argument, right? Like some of these, as much as we always want it to be that ascension, we want somebody to be crowned and now they are a member of the elite. Sometimes these are also here just to, give the nod where it's due. And I think we saw a lot of that with like the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Like nobody was winning that needed a win. It was always, it was Big Show and Kane were winning it. It's like, all right, those guys are 1,000 years old. Carmella's not 1,000, but this is something where you add that to her resume. It does a lot, something to always come back to. They always have like those things on the side of the screen, like their accomplishments for their career. That would mean a lot. And Carmella's not bad in the ring. I feel like people still attach that stigma to her because she's like her matches are booked pretty quick and she does well with what's booked for her. And I feel like a lot of people forget that she had a pretty good string of matches where she was going up against Charlotte and Asuka over and over and over and holding on to the titles. And not only was she doing a good job in the ring, but she's also, fantastic on the mic. So if somebody's going to hold a crown and have to yell at everybody all the time, I mean, I hate to just like redo, King Corbin, but Queen Carmella makes sense. So same thing. I think if we're talking about somebody that could sell that crown later, Zelina's another top target. I think if you're looking at Natalya or Dana Brooke, I think they've struggled a lot, and I don't know how they do trying to sell themselves and to be cocky, because I think they both default to heel, even though they've both had time going either direction. And even for, actually, now that I'm going through this, even for Shayna and for Doudrop, I don't know how well that does. Doudrop maybe sells it for like a couple of months as she's trying to like get over on Eva, because that would be Doudrop with the pretty glam crown, and Eva, whose whole character is to like be that. She's trying to ooze that from her pores, and to have Doudrop kind of like flaunt that in front of her. that gets you a couple of months of content, but it's not something where if Carmella or Zelina has that crown, that's a year, if not more. That's not like if not defining their character for years to come. So there's your sell off the top of my head. How'd you like that?
I dig it.
I hated it.
Every second. No, I think this is going to be.
I remember when they first invented chocolate. I hated it.
I feel like
that's my best impression, by the way.
Quite a few of the women have, some sort of resume, and like you said, when you come out on SmackDown, they want to put something. Carmella's won a Money in the Bank championship. She's been, WWE Women's Champion. Zelina's claim to fame is that she managed Andrade for a little while. So I think we really need to start padding her stats a little bit. Yeah. And I think this is going to be a spot to do it. The only tough part for me is I don't see how she beats Shayna or Doudrop in the finals.
Yeah, that's true. That's where Eva comes into play, right? In the finals. Yeah, maybe she like. Wouldn't that be a stinker though to have the first, do the Queen's Crown and then have it end with Eva just interfering with Doudrop or something? By the way, Edge is beating the shit out of Seth Rollins right now. I have not thought this until at this moment, but Edge looks fucking jacked. He is like a fucking
50 years old now.
Yeah, he looks like a bear out there. As the legs are still tiny little twigs, but when you go waist up on Edge, holy fuck, guy's scary. Especially now with the beard. Like he's been in his Viking shows. He is a true Vikinger right now.
I love this segment, by the way.
Or a Vikinger, sorry.
I love what WWE does this with the legends, where they're just kind of, on the peripheral, just in a mid-card feud. This isn't anything of merit involving titles. If Edge wins this feud, he's not going to be fighting for a title. It's just these two dudes getting mad at each other. This is where it's at its best.
Ooh. I've got Edge on mute here.
Edge just declared Hell in a Cell. Rollins is dumbfounded, doesn't know what to do. Man, I gotta say that's a nightmare match.
Didn't we just do Hell in a Cell?
It's a nightmare for us as the viewer, because now we got to get those weird camera angles from outside the cage.
Yeah, it's not fun for the viewer at home. It's certainly not fun for people at the arena. I'm done with Hell in a Cell. I never need to see another one. Is that? I mean, if they're not going through the roof of the cage, I mean,
we're gonna retire Undertaker probably in a year or so. I would also retire Hell in a Cell. Let it be inducted by Mick Foley. Or the way WWE would do it, they would have Shane McMahon do it.
Mike, you're a fucking genius. Retiring Hell in a Cell is genius, and that is your new Hall of Fame segment year after year.
Every week, we're going to retire something else, man.
We're going to be just down to singles match. All right, so that part was dumb. But retiring Hell in a Cell with The Undertaker, I think, that would be great. Let's stop doing this. It's bad TV. It's bad live viewing, right?
Well, it cheapens the value of what used to be, such an intimidating structure. And you were like, my God, there's going to be real violence in here. And now it's like, well, we already fell off of it. We jumped off of it. We busted people through it. We busted people into it. And we had people come up through the bottom, fall through the top.
I feel like it's needless violence, and considering you need to always come outside the ring to have the spot be noteworthy, let's just stop doing it. Right? Like they need to always finagle some way to get out of the Hell in a Cell.
Well, they always contrive a way for you to get on top of it so you could fall off of it.
Dare I say, almost all of those matches are way too contrived. It just goes too far in the wrong direction for me most of the time. And I don't know. Like, we break the rules of Hell in a Cell.
The only
all the
person I
time.
really want to see left in a Hell in a Cell match is Darby Allin, because I think he would do a coffin drop, but not onto a table. He would just land on the cement. And he'd still come up okay somehow.
But see, that's what scares me, because he would do that, and he would kind of Randy the Ram it himself.
I hope he doesn't hear this episode, because I think he would do it.
That's a great idea. This is a very, I think it's a smart thought. I think we need to flesh out how we're going to retire it and not make it a yearly segment. I think, unless you're going to be doing, what was the 3 stages of hell match, right?
I really love, can I say
the one that
quick?
had the Rottweiler poop?
Oh God, the British Bulldog match. That one?
Was that
oh no, there's the
with
Big
Al
Boss
Snow?
Man with the the pitbulls. Yeah.
I can't remember what that was called.
I'm really excited for when they do like that phalanx formation for the photos of this year's Hall of Fame class.
Just that little tiny
Undertaker,
cane.
Beth Phoenix, Hell in a Cell, and you see it kind of like with little arms crossed, when it was at its peak, in 1999 or whatever. A glamour shot from long ago,
Yeah. No, it's A plus. It's an A plus idea, because it's. I mean, there's probably somebody out there that would be, that gets all juiced when Edge goes Hell in a Cell. I don't know,
man. If you wanted to rope me in, you should have said Royal Rumble.
Yeah, just I'll see you in January. Yeah,
I'll see you in the bottom 2 where we both kind of do some false eliminations, so then get really excited because we're having slippy feet on the apron.
Mike, hot tag. Am I buying Royal Rumble tickets for us this week?
Boom! Get in there.
All right. So this is the official announcement from the Brothers of Discussion. If you guys, so far we had our one meetup, and then COVID happened. So let's do our second Brothers of Discussion meetup at the Royal Rumble. It is our favorite show, and it's been way too long since we've seen one. Yep. That was the last live pay-per-view before everything got shut down, was that Royal Rumble, right? That might not be right. There might have been one in the middle there. Last major, who cares? Who gives a fuck? All right. But yeah, we'll be there. I think it's in St. Louis. We'll be eating toasted ravioli with y'all.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is actually just fried ravioli. They just tried to guss it up a little bit. Shine that sucker up real nice. We'll turn it sideways and stick it straight into our...
man.
We'll stick it straight up our asses, I guess. That's why I don't know why I chose that direction. I'm going to be shoving a piece of fried ravioli up my ass while we're in St. Louis.
Man, that's still more appealing than listening to Mark Henry MC a promo off.
Oh, Jesus. All right, it's time for the main event. Yeah, we know there's 5 minutes left in the show.
You just heard the guy you're going to fight, CM Punk. Would you like to say something in response to what your opponent said?
You two are going to see each other in the ring. That's this is me actually watching and reading his lips. So that's I missed Mark. I still have mine muted. Oh, look at how angry Punk looks.
Maybe if he just stopped smiling so much.
Yeah, just for podcast listeners, as we continue to prattle on here, Rampage has started, and we both, without missing a beat, changed over to Rampage. Now we're watching Punk make his entrance. Mike, do we want to watch CM Punk right now, or are we going to sail off into the sunset? I feel like...
I think we got to sail off and watch Punk.
All right, so those were 2 different ideas I offered you. All right, everybody, thanks for... I thought we would watch Punk on the... All right, never mind. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I hope you had fun, and let's start a hashtag. Goodbye, Hell in a Cell. Something like that.
Thank you, Hell in a Cell.
Thank you. Rest in peace.
We've seen enough.
All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a good one.